Hey, class, Mr. Posky here. Hope you're having a good day so far. This is a lesson for 1.2, which is evaluating expressions. And yeah, we'll get right into it here. And I'll post the completed notes as well as the blank notes for you to take notes. And then you can go ahead and get going on your homework. So yeah, hope we have a nice lesson here. All right, so evaluating expressions. Let me read the essential questions for us. Be able to evaluate expressions with exponents. Be able to correctly use the order of operations to evaluate expressions. Be able to substitute values given for variables and evaluate. Okay, so my question for you, it says 2 to the third, or 2 with a little 3 means what? Is the final answer going to be 8 or 6? And I really hope you guys know what it is at this part. What does it mean? Is it going to be, is it 2 times 3? Or 2 times 2 times 2? 1 or 2? What do you guys think? I mean, I'm not going to be able to hear you, I guess, but... So yeah, it's going to be, 3 2's being multiplied together. So let me use a different color here. Start with red. So this is actually going to be 2 times 2 times 2, which is going to be 8. And I'm going to write over here, not 2 times 3, which equals 6. Okay, be very careful with that. That's a very important distinction to make with you guys being in Algebra 2 at this point, okay? All right, now we have the quantity of negative 5 to the fourth, and then we have negative 5 to the fourth. There is a difference between these two things, between these two expressions. See if you can figure out what it is really quick here. Go ahead and do that. All right, well, the first one is going to be negative 625, one is going to be positive 625. Well, let's figure this out here. How many negative 5s are we multiplying together here? We got 4. We have 4 negative 5s, which is all going to multiply to, these are going to pair up, these are going to pair up, these negatives, when you multiply them, and 2 negatives make a positive, so this is going to be positive 625. Oops. Positive 625. Now, how do we expand out negative 5 to the fourth? Well, we do exponents first. So there's actually a floating negative in front, which is going to be a negative 1. And that's going to be times 5 4 times. That was really bad, 5. So this is going to be negative 1 times 625, which is going to be negative 625. Okay, and the reason why we do that, in order of operations, this is negative 1 times 5 to the fourth. We do exponents first. That is why it's going to be negative 625, because you multiply, you need to expand out the 5 to the fourth, and then you're going to have that negative 1 applied at the end when you multiply. Okay? Order of operations. See if you can fill in these blanks without me telling you what they are. PEMDAS. All right. P stands for what? Parentheses. And I'm going to put or grouping symbols. And what are some examples of grouping symbols? We got parentheses. Anything else? I got 3 more. See if you can figure out what they are. I got brackets. I got fraction bars. What's the last one? What is this symbol right here? This absolute value. Okay, those are the main grouping symbols. There may be other ones that apply later, but for now we're going to stick with those. Okay? What does E stand for? E stands for exponents. M stands for multiplication. Pause for a second, let you catch up. D stands for division. What do we need to be careful about with multiplication and division? I'm going to put a little side note over here with these. We need to work what to what? Left to right. Got to work left to right with multiplication and division. What's the A stand for? Addition. And the last one, S, subtraction. Same thing here. We gotta work left to right. What that means is if you have 10 divided by 2 times 4, Even though multiplication comes first in order of operations in PEMDAS, you're actually going to do this first because you scan left to right. If you scan left to right, division and multiplication are equal rank. So you're actually going to divide by 2, which is 5, and then multiply by 4. You're not going to do 10 divided by 8. You're not going to do that. Same thing with addition and subtraction. If we have 13 minus 3 plus 6, you're not going to do this first. You're not going to do that first. You're going to do 13 minus 3, because you got to scan left to right, which is 10 plus 6, which equals 16. Okay? So we got to go left to right. Okay, let's do some examples. Why don't you guys go ahead and give these two a try on your own, and then pause the video, and then we'll go through them together in a second. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you had a good time with this. So what I like to do when I'm doing this is I like to circle each step as I go to make sure I'm doing the right steps in the right order here, okay? So and I like to go through PEMDAS. Another thing I forgot to write over here that I want you to write is go back to beginning of PEMDAS each step. Go back to the beginning of PEMDAS after each step. Okay, so you don't just keep going through the order. You got to make sure you go. It's like each step we take resets PEMDAS. We have to go back to the beginning again. Okay. So, do we have any parentheses for number 1? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? Yep, I see this dot, which means multiplication, so we're going to circle this. I'm going to get a nice circle here. Okay, so we're going to keep the 12, bring it down, show your work. What's 3 times 5 going to be? That is 15. And then we only have one last step, which is going to be 12 plus 15, which is what? 27. All right. That one was a little bit easier. All right, number 2, any parentheses we have to do here? We do. We have the 6 minus 3 in the parentheses. So we have 18 divided by, what's 6 minus 3 going to be? It's going to be 3 squared minus 8. All right, back to the beginning of PEMDAS. Do we have any more parentheses? And we do have parentheses, but there's no, parentheses really means there's something to do inside the parentheses. We just have a 3 inside the parentheses. Is there anything to do with the 3 or no? So this actually isn't parentheses. It's actually going to be what? It's going to be exponents. Okay, because there's that 2 on the outside of the parentheses there. So actually, next thing we're going to do is we're going to do exponents. So what's 3 squared going to be? It's 9. All right. Any more parentheses? Any more exponents? Any multiplication or division? Yep, we got division here, so we're going to do 18 divided by 9. What is 18 divided by 9 going to be? I'll go over here. It's going to be 2 minus 8. What's 2 minus 8 going to be? Negative 6. Okay? And then algebraic expressions is an expression involving variables. An expression involving variables. So we can take, we have negative 4x squared plus 6x minus 5y when x equals 3 and y equals negative 7. So what we can do is we can take wherever we see an x, we're going to plug in 3, and wherever we see a y, we're going to plug in negative 7, right? It's just substitution. So we got negative 4 times 3 squared plus 6 times 3 minus 5 times negative 7. All right, go ahead and pause the video and give this a try. Try simplifying this on your own. All right, welcome back. Any parentheses to deal with here? Well, there's 3 parentheses, but those are not really parentheses because there's nothing to do inside of them. Are there any exponents? Yeah, we got this 2 here. This is an exponent. So we got negative 4 times, what's 3 squared going to be? Is it 6 or 9? If you said 6, that's shame on you. Not really, I'm just kidding. All right, any other parentheses? Any exponents? Any multiplication or division? We actually have multiplication in 3 spots here, so I'm going to circle all 3 of them and do them all 3 at once. Okay. Okay, so what's negative 4 times 9 going to be? That's going to be negative 36. 6 times 3 is 18. We have this minus. What's 5 times negative 7 going to be? It's going to be negative 35. Okay. Any more multiplication or division or anything else before that? Any addition or subtraction? We actually have addition here, so we're going to circle this. All right, so negative 36 plus 18 is going to be negative 18. And we have minus negative 35. And subtracting a negative, that's the same thing as what a what? Adding a positive. Remember, change the sign, add a line, or chop chop. So we got negative 18 plus 35, which is going to equal 17. That's our final answer. Way back here, another thing you could have done in this step right here is you could have just done negative 5 times negative 7, which would have been plus 35 right away, instead of doing this minus negative 35. That's totally fine. That would be a shortcut if you're comfortable with that. But just know it's negative 5 times negative 7, and then you got to add it. All right, last example for today. It says, write an expression for the area of the figure, then evaluate the expression for the value of the given variable. Holy cow, a lot of stuff going on here. So, what kind of shape is this here? This is a triangle. So I'm going to draw this right here. This is a triangle, and we want to find the area of it. What's the formula for area of a triangle? There's 2 ways to write it. First one is base times height over 2. Hopefully you said that. Or 1/2 base times height. I like base times height over 2 more often than that. I just feel like it's easier to work with, so we're going to stick with that one for now. But you could also do 1/2 times base times height. So yeah, okay. So we have, let's figure out what we have here, okay? So we need the base and the height. What's the base of this triangle? It's going to be 2c plus 1. What's the height? It is 4c. The height is a perpendicular distance from the corner straight at a right angle to the base. Okay? Yeah, all right, and then c up here, it's a c equals 3. We'll come back to that later. So we're going to plug in the formula. We have area equals base, which is 2c plus 1 times the height, which is 4c all over 2. Okay, we're going to multiply. Looks like we have a binomial times a monomial, so we're going to be doing this, which is called what? It's called distribution. So what's 4c times 2c going to be? That's going to be 8c squared. And what's 4c times 1? It's going to be 4c all over 2. Okay, now we need to divide both of these by 2. All right, so area is going to equal, we have, and the reason why we're solving for c first, or getting it solved for z, because it says write an expression for the area and then evaluate it. So we need to make sure we solve for c first, or like get c, solve for area in terms of c before we do anything else. Okay, so for 8c squared divided by 2 is going to be 4c squared. And 4c divided by 2 is going to be 2c. And now we can't do anything else with this. I mean, c squared and c, those are not like terms because they don't have the same variable, same exponent. But now we can take the c equals 3, we can plug it in here, and plug it in here. So area is going to equal 4 times 3 squared plus 2 times 3. Any parentheses to deal with here? There are parentheses, but not really. Is there any exponents? Yeah, we got an exponent here. So we have area equals 4 times 3 squared is 9, right? Notice how I keep the rest of the problem the same. Any more parentheses? Any exponents? Any multiplication or division? We got 2 multiplications here. So what is 4 times 9 going to be? That's going to be 36. And 2 times 3, which is 6. And what is 36 plus 6 going to be? 42. Now, do we have units? Did they give us units like meters or inches or whatever? So is it 42? Well, we don't have any units. We're going to just use the word units. Is it units or units squared if it's area? Just like it would be feet squared or meters squared, we're going to put square units or units squared here. And we always want to put some form of units down for these type of problems. Okay? All right. Just a reminder, when I'm asking questions during the lesson and stuff too, it's helpful if you guys kind of repeat them out loud and answer the questions with me. I'm kind of simulating what we do during class, even though we're not really meeting in class generally. So when I ask, like 36 plus 6 is what? You should say 42. And kind of keep with me. It'll keep you engaged and it kind of get you ready for if we get back to class, what we're going to be doing in class, okay? So that's the lesson for today. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.